Hi, today we will speak about life Marie Curie, a woman that transformed the world through her passion, science. There are a number of points I'd like to make. Firstly, I'll talk about her first years, her difficulties, and academic achievement. Secondly, I'll tell you what were her contributions to science. Thirdly, we will see how were her last life years. And finally, I'll say why for me she is a great example of admiration. Let's start. Marie Curie was born in Warsaw, Poland on 7 November 1867. She is now likely to be the first scientific woman to receive the Nobel Prize and be the first professor at the Sorbonne University in Paris. She is son of physics professor Władysław Ludowski and the teacher Bronislaw Bukowski. When she was a child, her mother died of tuberculosis. Mary grew up in an occupied Poland, almost its entirety by the armed forces of Russian Empire. The difficulties she went through since was little did end up in her desire of studying. After completing the basic education studies, Curie was not able to enter in a higher education institution by the fact of she was a woman. Nevertheless, that it made more than ally her desire to learn and join among her sister Bronislawa in a Polish clandestine university which admitted women. In 1891, at the age of 24 years, eventually Marie Curie moved to study to France, thanks her saving and the help of his father. Now, let's turn now to her career path and her contribution to science. Trajectory and contribution to the science. In 1893, Marie Curie graduated in physics by the University of Paris, being the number one of her promotion. Just a later year, he met to the one became her husband in 1895 and father of her two daughters. He took science Pierre Curie. Interest Marie Curie by the physics didn't run out. After regaining her title, she continued forming and her next phase was getting a doctorate. Inspired by the research about radiation of uranium from physicist Henry Becquerel, she chose her thesis research about radioactive substances. So Pierre decided to help her. In 1898, they announced the discovery of new elements, radium and polonium, both more radioactive than uranium. However, it wasn't until 4 years after when they could show their finding. In 1993, Marie didn't just get her doctorate, but also she received the Physics Nobel Prize next to husband. Madame Curie didn't get the same acknowledgement than her husband. In 1904, Pierre Curie was appointed professor at the University of Paris. Disgracefully, in 1906, a horse car ended with the life of her husband. This river made that Marie took charge her husband's chair of physics at the Sorbonne University. Just after the death of Perry, she decided continuing with her researches. Soon she found out that the radiotherapy could be a treatment against cancer. Thanks to these researches, Marie earned the Chemistry Nobel Prize in 1911. The scientists acquired various automobiles and portable X-ray machines and created radiological ambulance. Thanks to the gesture, many soldiers were able to save their life, and she became the director of the radiology service of the French Red Cross. I choose to marry because she changed the world thanks to her passion, discipline, and charisma. She achieved big things at the time which women had too much limitation in the academic and professional world. As a result of the radiation to which she was exposed in her experiment, Marie Curie died on July 4, 1934. I'll conclude very briefly by saying that Marie Curie made great contribution to the science. The finding of the radium and polonium allowed to define the properties of radioactivity.